We are just now beginning to learn the extent of the devastation, but the reports and images that we've seen of collapsed hospitals, crumbled homes, and men and women carrying their injured neighbors through the streets are truly heart-wrenching. Indeed, for a country and a people who are no strangers to hardship and suffering, this tragedy seems especially cruel and incomprehensible. Our thoughts and prayers are also with the many Haitian Americans around our country who do not yet know the fate of their families and loved ones back home.
What is the measure of a life well lived? If all I can offer seems too small to give, this is a song for the weaker, the poorer, and so-called failures. Little is much when God's in it, and no one can fathom the plans He holds. Little is much when God's in it, He changes the world with the seeds we sow. Little is much, little is much. Who feels tired and who feels deserted and hung out to dry. This is a song for the broken, the beat up, and so-called losers. A little is much when God's in it, and no one can fathom the plans He holds. Little is much when God's in it, He changes the world with the seeds we sow. A little is much, little is much, little is much, little is much. Consider a kingdom in the smallest seed. Consider the giants for the stones and slings. Consider the child in a manger. Consider the story isn't over. What can be done with what you still have? Little is much when God's in it, and no one can fathom the plans He holds. Little is much when God's in it, He changes the world with the seeds we sow.